Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the World of Wrestling Podcast. Here today to discuss about WWE Raw, January 26, 2026 review. This show was okay, I guess, just to be generous. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. It looked like they tried to put some effort in it while also at the same time not putting effort in it. They had AJ Styles kickstart the show. He pretty much went ahead and said he was going to go ahead and beat Gunther at the Royal Rumble, and he isn't going to have to retire. He said this year will be his final year, but Gunther isn't the one going to retire him, which I call bullshit on that. I think he is. So, pretty much states all that, explains why he went ahead and went forward with this and why he's going through with it. He doesn't like the way Gunther disrespected John Cena after he retired him and everything and all that jazz. Following that, CM Punk comes out. Pretty much says, I don't know why you put your career on the line. I have a ton of respect for you. I was looking forward at some point of us competing against one another in a barn burner of a match. Also, during AJ Styles' promo, he was mentioning how he's going to become world champion one more time. That brought out CM Punk. And he pretty much doesn't understand the point of why he put his career on the line against Gunther. And he said because he wanted to defeat Gunther and he knows he can beat him and all that jazz. And that's why he did it. So CM Punk went ahead and he said, well, if you're so happen to be gone, if you so happen to lose, I can't challenge you, which out of a selfish part of me, I was looking forward to actually doing that at some point. So, one thing led to another. The announcement was made that CM Punk, well, the announcement wasn't made. CM Punk accepted a challenge by AJ Styles, challenged him for the the World Heavyweight Championship, and Punk accepted and said that they will go one-on-one tonight in Montreal. So the World Championship was on the line. Okay, great. Following that, Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez, and Liv Morgan of the Judgment Day make their way to the ring. And they were in a 6-woman tag team match against Stephanie Vaquer, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley. This match was whatever. Io Sky and Ripley with Stephanie Vaquer end up winning the match. Stephanie Vaquer may have re-injured her ankle on a dive, based on what this writer from Wrestling View is saying. Nothing really special happened there. Then we had the CM Punk walking backstage, when Finn Balor stops him. Balor says he wanted to be champion, but Punk was part of one of his best career highlights. Punk picked him up and gave him his flowers at the end. Balor thanks him, and Punk says it's 2 to tango. Balor earned his title opportunity. Punk thinks Balor is one of the best, and Punk says Balor needs to think about leaving the Judgment Day, and Punk asks what Balor wants his legacy to be. He'll never be champion hanging out with garbage like Dominic Mysterio. If he wants another title shot, Balor can win the Royal Rumble and Punk will see him in Las Vegas. Punk walks off, leaving Balor with a lot to think about. Now, I'm going to say this out of the gate. Now, later on in the show, Balor reached out to Adam Pearce about getting a spot in the Royal Rumble match. He did not get that. He was told that it's full. and so forth. We now have an injury with Rey Mysterio during his match against Austin Theory, which I'll get to in a moment. With his shoulder or something like that. Rey Mysterio is part of the Royal Rumble. They could throw Finn Balor in this. Now, you guys think about this long and hard. There's two pathways that they could go with this. They can either go with Finn Balor not getting a World Championship opportunity and facing Dominic Mysterio in a one-on-one match for the IC Championship, which I'm fine with. I'm not against the idea at WrestleMania with those two if they're breaking them up. But based on the way the show ended with Finn Balor attacking CM Punk heel-like fashion, kind of makes me wonder, would I be entirely opposed against the idea of a Finn Balor versus CM Punk match at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship in a rematch, and this time he's like goes full on in villain like person again? Because during that world title match it was more like Finn Balor just being a respectable babyface towards CM Punk. And this time around, he'd be a vicious character, which he should have been in the first match. I would be down with Finn Balor winning the Royal Rumble. If Finn Balor was to win the Royal Rumble, I wouldn't have any complaints to that. Now, granted, I won't lie. Finn Balor is older. He's been around for a very long time in WWE, but he's never gotten that big main event push. Him winning the Royal Rumble and winning the world title from CM Punk while still being a part of the Judgment Day and the Judgment Day winning all the gold, that would be a fucking awesome sight to see for WrestleMania. I wouldn't have an issue with Finn Balor winning the world title from CM Punk at WrestleMania, honestly. That would be a fucking cool moment. Finn Balor has never had something like that occur. There's been mention of him getting a push for this year's 2026. LA Knight's another one. I mean, we could see some fucking crazy shit occur. Another thing that could occur, Braun Breaker is now part of the Royal Rumble and the rest of the members of the Vision. Imagine if it was Seth Rollins. Get this. If it was Seth Rollins that said to have everyone in the Royal Rumble match. We don't get a Seth Rollins introduction at the Royal Rumble back in the WWE. We see him during the World Championship match against CM Punk. And he fucks CM Punk over. And once again, fucking Punk out of a world title match. With Braun Breaker winning it from CM Punk. Now, you might be saying, what the hell are you talking about? You're going in circles. This is what I'm trying to say. What if it was all orchestrated by Seth Rollins to tell Braun Breaker, I have an injury to my shoulder. Let's make it look like you don't like me anymore. I'm out of the Vision. This was all discussed. You recruit other people while I'm out with injury to make the Vision stronger. And while he's out with the injury, he calls in a favor to Adam Pearce, and he tells Adam Pearce, I want them all in the Royal Rumble. Because he wanted to see them destroy each other. He figured they would all, given the idea to Adam Pearce that he thinks they would try to kill each other for that Royal Rumble win. Which, honestly, could actually happen, despite what we heard later on in the show, which I'll go over as well. And instead of being united, like they claim they're going to be during this Raw episode, they start to fall apart. But it's all part of the whole entire situation. It's all an act. At the end of the day, the whole idea is to have Braun Breaker as the winner of the Royal Rumble. They have Braun Breaker win the Royal Rumble, and then Braun Breaker goes into WrestleMania and Seth Rollins makes his debut return back to the WWE during this event, fucks CM Punk, celebrates in the ring with Braun Breaker, and once again, they got played. So it was basically Seth Rollins' way of saying, hey, I can't hold up the fort. I'm trusting Braun Breaker to do that. I have a shoulder injury. I can no longer defend the title. We got to get this championship back. Let's get it through Braun Breaker for him to win the World Heavyweight Championship. He's the future. Let's go with him and let's move it on. And he can be the guy that knocks me out with a spear and we make everyone think that I'm out of the vision when I'm really not. They could do something like that. Becky Lynch was in on it too. All of that. I mean, they could do all that. Or they could go straight forward and be straightforward with people and have Seth Rollins be the guy that goes after Braun Breaker. But I wouldn't have Seth Rollins. If I was Seth Rollins and all that, if I was Seth Rollins, I would hope that Braun Breaker wins the World Heavyweight Championship, even if he's, becomes enemies with Braun Breaker. And the reason being is because he gets his World Championship back while also beating his rival. He kills two birds with one stone. So there you go. Just my thoughts on that. But I wouldn't mind the idea of Finn Balor winning the Royal Rumble and winning the world title from CM Punk. That would be another cool thing to see. I'd be down for that. And then you have Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker going at it one-on-one at WrestleMania. I think I would be pretty satisfied with that. But that's just my viewpoint on that. Anyway, let's move on. So, the Vision makes their way to the ring. This was real simple. Adam Pearce comes to the ring. He pretty much tells them, I'm sorry for putting my hands on you, Braun, and blah, blah, blah. You are reinstated. You're off probation, whatever, not probation, suspension, and you're able to go in the Royal Rumble. Paul Heyman looks very surprised how easy that was. Something suspicious is going to happen, I think. I don't know who's winning the Rumble. I just hope it's not Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. I mean, I'm just so fucking tired of that shit. Neither one of these two need to win the fucking Royal Rumble. But that's what was stated, and he throws it out there like, hey, even that, we're going to include the rest of the division. You all can be in the Royal Rumble as well. And Austin Theory, you're probably upset what happened last week with the whole brass knucks thing. So guess what? I'm going to do you a favor. You're going to get a rematch against Rey Mysterio. And you two are going to go at it right here and now. And the Vision's kind of like surprised by this. But like, why is everything going our way? A little surprising. Kind of worries me a little bit. Anyway. So, they go straight into the match between Rey Mysterio and Austin Theory. This match was a fun match. I think Austin Theory is being underutilized. The guy's got it. He's got a style to him. He just needs a personality. I think his personality has went out the fucking window since he became part of the Vision. And joining up with Grayson Waller in that fucking A-Town Down Under bullshit tag team. But anyway, after the match, Breaker attacks Penta. Lee attacks, but Paul punches him in the face with his loaded fist. Paul holds Lee up and Breaker spears him down. The referee is tending to Rey Mysterio on the apron. Mysterio looks injured. Paul goes to the top rope and hits the Paul from Grace. I'm assuming a frog splash. And Breakker then spears Penta down. Reed sets Penta up and goes on the top rope for a tsunami. And Reed and Paul hold Penta up, and Breakker hits a super spear. Michael Cole wonders where Adam Pearce is to stop this, and Cole speculates that the phone call he got last week will make him hesitate to hand out punishment to the Vision. Okay. And then we get a video package of Natalya. So she made Maxine Dupree, but Dupree failed her. Dupree didn't fail herself. She failed Natalya. Dupree is just like the rest of them. She thinks that because she's roared with a legend, she can roar like one. That will never happen again. This is the new Natalya. When she's done with Dupree, she's coming for it all. And they were referencing towards the IC Championship with Becky Lynch. Natalya says, because Natalya elevates but Natty decimates. I did like that line. But really, what are they trying to... What caused this all of a sudden out of nowhere? How did she fail? What did she do to fail her? She got screwed in their rematch when she lost the title, and then she's getting screwed by her mentor when she's trying to win it back. So that makes absolutely no fucking sense to me at all. Going back on the Adam Pearce thing, I heard a couple of YouTubers that did their review on this, and they didn't really like the spot at all. They thought it was garbage. There was really no repercussions. There was no cons to this situation. It was all pros for the Vision and nothing more. Also, who was the phone call from? That's another good valid point that other YouTubers pointed out, which I have to agree with. Like, they didn't really point that out in the show last night, which is kind of dumb. Maybe they'll reveal that at WrestleMania. Again, I'm saying maybe it's a wrestler who actually talked to Adam Pearce as a way of saying, I'm going to stop this from happening. Maybe that was the cause of all of this. But then again, why would Adam Pearce be so, not wanting to get involved like he was before, stopping the chaos that they were creating on these beatdowns that they were causing, like they did last night, and so forth. So something from a higher up position has to be doing this. Could it be The Rock? Maybe, but not too many people are fond of the idea of The Rock even being remotely near a WWE television show anymore after what happened last year, which I don't blame anybody, because it left the story incomplete. The creative team shouldn't have went forward with the move, since they weren't going to complete the story, knowing full well that wasn't going to happen. I don't know. Very strange, very odd. But it is what it is. But yeah, I would figure it's probably a higher up. Who knows? Some people suggested Vince McMahon. I mean, that would be kind of fucking interesting, but I don't want Vince McMahon back in WWE in any way, shape, or form, because creatively he's fucked that company 10 ways to Sunday, and just Triple H is carrying on the Vince McMahon tradition of being shit. So, who fucking cares? Anyway, backstage, Raquel Rodriguez is furious, looking for Stephanie Valcour. She finds her, and they start to brawl before WWE officials break them up. During that segment, Bayley actually said, "Hey, I'm on the phone here." She almost started laughing during that segment, which I thought was funny. Video package of Roman Reigns declaring that he's part of the Royal Rumble. God help us. Then we get a video of what happened earlier in the day with a sit-down interview with Gunther and Michael Cole. And Michael Cole asked this real hard question. Why did you have to make AJ Styles put his career on the line? Holy really, you're gonna ask him that question? That's like a dumb fucking question. And some people would say a question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. In this case, it is a dumb question. Why would you need to ask Gunther why he asked him to put his career on the line? He answered that last week by saying, I'm sorry, but giving you a rematch after I've already beaten you gives me no sentiment to want to move forward with you in another match when I've already beaten you for the match. And when he said, if you want to put your career on the line, that'll give me more interest in facing you. And the reason being is so that I can get rid of you. Because it's like as if I'm winning a championship. There's something on the line. Hey, what do you know? They're competing over something that's on the line. Amazing concept. Not too often do they even think about that. This is actually worth the reason for them facing each other. It's over a career. To give Gunther the opportunity to take his career away from him like he's Shang Tsung from fucking Mortal Kombat. Taking his soul. Your soul is mine. Well, that's technically what Gunther's doing. He's trying to take AJ Styles' soul, his career, away from him. And AJ Styles is trying to revenge a loss that should have been a victory when they originally faced each other and try to beat him for it. That gives a lot of reason to want to face AJ Styles when his career's on the line. He even says he's tired of all the old timers still being there trying to capture more moments than they've already captured in their career, and he's tired of them being around. He also looked at Michael Cole and said, hey, you're pretty old. How many more years do you think you got left? I could end your career right here and now, but I won't. And the reason why I won't is because I want you to be able to sit there and say, I ended AJ Styles' career at the Royal Rumble. I thought this was fairly well done. I had no issues with this at all. But Gunther better be making AJ Styles tap out. Not passing out, tapping out. From here on out, every person he faces, he better be making him tap out if he's got him in that submission hold. No questions asked. Tap out or it's a fail, in my opinion. That's just the way I see it. He also mentioned Goldberg retirement match that he had, and so on and so forth. Anyway, we had Jey Uso come into the arena. Jimmy's nowhere to be seen because he's dealing with a family issue. When they defend the tag team titles, I have no fucking clue. Adam Pearce is on the phone saying he's got everything under control. And Finn Balor walks up and says he's declaring himself for the Royal Rumble. Pearce apologizes and says the Royal Rumble is full. And Balor says this isn't over and walks off. Balor bumps into Liv Morgan. And Morgan asks what's going on with him and CM Punk. Punk isn't his friend or showing respect. Punk showed him up in his hometown and raised his arm up like a participation trophy, which is true. That's the way creatives treated Finn Balor from the get-go since the shoulder injury at SummerSlam of 2016. Then Balor thanked him for it. Punk doesn't want Balor to become world champion. The Judgment Day does. They're his family. Balor says this isn't that straightforward and wants to figure it out, and Balor walks off. So, that's pretty much what happened there. I honestly think the direction it's going to go is Balor, Dominic Mysterio over the IC Championship. That's the way I see that going. But to be quite frank with you, I would love to see Finn Balor win the world title at WrestleMania. Winning the Rumble would be fine with me. I mean, I fucking love it. Have Finn Balor and Liv Morgan both win the Royal Rumble matches. They both win the world titles on the same brand. And that would mean Dominic Mysterio has the IC title, Finn with the world title, Liv with the women's world title, and fucking and then you get Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez to possibly win the women's tag team titles. I mean, that's a fucking stacked faction with championships. And they keep talking about how the Judgment Day is going to collect all the gold. They're going to be draped in gold. Why wouldn't this be the pathway they could go on? Rey Mysterio is out with an injury now. Legitimately. Finn Balor could be added to this, replacing Rey Mysterio. So you add Finn Balor into the Royal Rumble since Rey is out with injury. That's a perfect setup, man. I would love to see that. And actually, it's kind of funny they mentioned that after Rey's injury, but they didn't know the extent of his injury, so they could always say that Finn Balor is in the Royal Rumble. Just my thoughts on that. Anyway, moving on, we go into the number one contender fatal four-way tag team match with American Made, the Los Americanos with Bravo Americano and Rey Americano, the Alpha Academy with Otis and Akira Tozawa, and the New Day. And the winners of this fucking bogus match was Otis and Akira Tozawa. This is what the WWE Tag Team Division has turned into, guys. This is shit. I have no interest in this match. This will be on another Monday Night Raw episode that no one will care about. Following that, backstage, we get Jackie Redmond with the Women's World, Intercontinental Champion, Becky Lynch. Lynch says she had a monumental victory before adding that Redmond wouldn't know about it. Redmond is wearing a Toronto Maple Leafs jacket. Lynch says she's entering the Royal Rumble. The Kabuki Warriors walk up, and Kairi Sane says Lynch will not win the Rumble because no one is ready for Asuka. Lynch is ready for Asuka and has beaten her before. They would have won War Games if it wasn't for Asuka. Zayn goes to relay the message, but Asuka says she heard her. Asuka says, "See you in the Royal Rumble." Zayn mugs at Lynch until Asuka shouts, "Kairi!" Like as if she's Roderick Strong calling for Adam Cole, going, "Adam!" Sick. Anyway, AJ Styles made his WWE debut at the Royal Rumble in 2016. They mentioned it on the show. Show AJ Styles warming up backstage in hopes of him winning the world title in his retirement year. Adam Pearce is backstage with Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquero. She wants Raquel Rodriguez in a fight. Pearce says she wants a fight. She'll defend the title next week in Philadelphia Street Fight. Oh, wow. Like, that's a shocker. Next up, the Vision's locker room segment. This was actually very fucking nuts. So Logan Paul says, we're all in the Royal Rumble. I think the best plan is that we all work together in this Royal Rumble. Now, okay, that's fine. That makes sense. But then he goes on to say the sense of, hey, how about instead of all of us waiting until everyone else is eliminated and it's the four of us and it comes down to the four of us, may the best man win between the four of us. After that, he doesn't go there. He basically says, let's ensure that Braun Breaker wins the Royal Rumble. Because he's the Vision. I'm like, What? Logan Paul saying this? A fucking... one of the biggest YouTubers in the history of YouTube creators? He says, let's have him win? Motherfucker, you haven't won a world title in this company at all. Thankfully not. Who the fuck needs that? But seriously, logically, why would fucking Logan Paul say something like that? That's kind of nuts. Everyone in the group agrees. Austin Theory agrees. Bronson Reed agrees. Like, why wouldn't Bronson Reed want a Royal Rumble win and go after the world title? This shit's fucking insane what I'm sitting here listening to last night. Paul Heyman's like patting Braun Breaker on the shoulder, and he's happy they're all getting along and they're seeing the true vision of what needs to be done and the pathway of what needs to take place within the vision. Okay, whatever. I think that was absolutely absurd and retarded. Anyway, the main event, the world title match with AJ Styles and CM Punk. This I thought was a good match, but the ending of it sucked. Finn Balor interfered. Hopefully this is a bigger story angle that we're getting out of this. As like Punk versus Balor one-on-one. This eventually will lead to a Dominic Mysterio Finn Balor match for WrestleMania, where Finn Balor is removed from the vision or from the Judgment Day, and that's what occurs in that story for Finn Balor. Or we figure out some way to get him in the world title picture. In that sort of sense. I'd be fine with that too, like I've already mentioned. Match wasn't bad, but at the end of the day, the ending was not all that great. They had Finn Balor try to put CM Punk through the barricade multiple times with a running drop kick. Never worked. He did that like 3 times, and it never worked. It never broke the barricade, so it was kind of like pointless. Looked silly as shit, but Finn Balor stood tall at the end of the show, and that was pretty much it in a nutshell. The show wasn't terrible, but it wasn't that great either. I had some sort of feeling of like a go-home show, but not that great. I mean, the weeks leading up to this episode was dead as a doormat, so who the fuck cares about a go-home show or anything? You kind of came a little too late to the party, my friend. So Paul, try to improve on that and like actually be consistent all the way up to the very last episode to be able to call it a go-home show, because otherwise this build to Royal Rumble has been shit. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So at this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Leave a comment down below, and I'll definitely get back to you on that. Thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great night, guys. Bye.